So I'm John Marshall. I'm the CEO of the Ontario Capital Growth Corporation. We're a arm's length agency of the Ministry of Economic Development and Innovation. We basically have two mandates. We manage Ontario's limited partnership interest in the Ontario Venture Capital Fund, and also are a direct co-investor in a $250 million Ontario Emerging Technologies Fund. Yeah, so a lot of it, as you see today, I thought that yesterday's session by Mars Innovation was really good. I mean, in many ways, it's about the science and about the company and about the technology and its market readiness. The money will follow that. So, in terms of getting on our radar screen, so we're a co-investor. So we co-invest alongside other market investors that bring us the investment. So we've done a deal with CTI Life Sciences in Naraxon. We've done a deal alongside Genesis and Affinium. Lumira will be, now they've closed their next fund, they'll be bringing us investments. So we're a co-investor where we're not deal hunters. We don't pick the companies. We're a co-investor where we co-invest alongside other market investors that bring those investments to us. But alongside like D.E. Shaw and Natrix Separation and others. So it's been great to see the quality of some of the life sciences investments that we've seen at OCGC, and it's great that we've been able to play as a market investor to hold equity and securities in the same companies as those other VCs. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think that really it's around opportunities, whether it's BioFinance, it's around a lot of the stuff the industry does, Biotech Canada, others. We'll be down in Boston for the big bio conference, etc., to be able to promote those not only at a local and national level, but also at an international level. Because I think that really any of the technology companies that are coming out here are at various stages of their development, whether they're preclinical, clinical, stage 1, stage 2, and there are different markets that they need to be able to put those in front of. I also think it's interesting the emergence of groups like Lilly and Merck and GSK, who have now come back into this asset class because they're trying to get these technologies, access to them earlier, but also get them further up the food chain so that they're more market ready, so they can plug into Lilly, Merck's, and GSK's supply chain. So it's very interesting how corporates, we have about 12 corporate investors, Samsung, Intel, Qualcomm, but also the Lillys, the Mercks, and the GSKs that are coming into the very early stage asset class because they're trying to buy these technology platforms, no longer try to build them in-house because the cost of building them in-house is prohibitive. So they'd rather have a number of opportunities out there and look at the whole market and then try to see which ones they're going to pick as corporate investors. And at the Ontario Capital Growth Corporation, we're here to help in that process by being another investor at that table, but also by participating in events such as this today, where we can actually help put those companies out into the market. Yeah, no, I think the BioFinance is a great opportunity to connect to investors. So we had MMV and unfortunately Jonathan from Overmed couldn't make it down from New York, but it's around connecting with those. It's around making sure that people are aware that the Ontario Emerging Technologies Fund exists. So there's a session going on right now on government incentives and other government programs around what are the sources of early stage capital. And so it's around connecting with the community and hearing about the great companies, making sure that we're aware of the investors that are out there, and hopefully we can actually get some deals done today, so that'd be great. In many ways, it's funny at the board level. It's around a lot of it is around the management team. Who is the management team that has? I mean, first of all, there's the technology itself, which we are relying on the co-investor to assess for us. What's the IP? What's the technology? Where does it come from? Where's the market channel for that technology? But then also, I think it's around building strong teams and great teams. I mean, you listen to the Inobia story today. I mean, the CEO of Inobia was a very structured, focused individual who led Inobia through a very difficult time, but to a very great exit. But I also think that in the venture industry, it takes a number of different formulations to back a winner. And when you look at some of the investments that have made, maybe the first two clinical trials failed, but then the third clinical trial was a home run, and all the investors made their money. So I think that it's around companies that have multiple products in the market, and they're advancing them, and it's the team that can know which ones to pick, how do they advance them, which ones are differentiated in the market, and then how they grow those into global pharmaceutical companies. So I also enjoy the device space. It's nice to see a lot of the devices, and I think that Ontario has some great strengths in device technologies, and so I think that's a whole other area. The panel this morning was talking about platforms, and platforms have been a challenge because while they have great hope, they're often difficult to finance. So I think a lot of people are moving into the device areas as an area that has some earlier commercial results within the timelines that the investors are looking for. Yeah, no, I think that it is around a continuum. You know, you've got HTX, and they've got a little bit of money. You've got OICR, you've got Mars Innovation, you've got the Ontario Emerging Technologies Fund, you've got funds like Genesis and CTI and Lemera and others. So I think that everyone's playing at a different stage of the ecosystem. The key is to piece together the stage of the company and technology you're at, and who's out there to partner with you. That's why awareness in the market is very important for a company and for us to be out there telling people what we do and where we fit in that ecosystem. Because as you saw this morning, there are some really big, large global funds who are out there, and they're looking globally, and they have some very deep pockets. So it's around getting those companies, into the public markets. I was sitting beside YM Biosciences this morning, and others, right? So how do you go from that discovery at OICR right through to being a publicly traded company and into some of the larger investments? So it's around that whole continuum. The challenges in life sciences, that process is very long, right? And it takes a lot of very patient capital to be able to get a company from discovery through to the market.